Alright, today I want to talk about books and movies that I have watched in the last like 4 or 5 weeks since I've been here in Alaska with Adam and Sherry. I have a stack of books right here. I'm missing one because Sherry is currently reading it, and so it's part of the series. I have the other two. You don't need to see it, but anyway, I'm gonna start with a blanket, like, spoiler warning. Don't watch this video if you don't want to be spoiled. I can't promise that I won't let something slip that will spoil it for you. I feel like spoiler warnings or spoilers for people are different for each person. I don't mind a spoiler, but like, you know, anyway. So here's your blanket spoiler warning. Don't watch this video if you don't want to know plot points, okay? Because this is for me, this is for you, but it's for me too. And so if you don't want to hear about what happens in these books or these movies, don't watch, okay? So first, Cruella. Sherry and I watched it, and I think we watched it here. We didn't go to the theater for this one. We watched it at home, and I didn't expect to like it. I was kind of afraid of this movie. I thought it was going to be scary. It looks kind of scary. All the previews made it look really scary. Not scary, okay? It's dark. It's a villain story. It's like the backstory of how Cruella in, you know, the 101 Dalmatians movie became Cruella. It's how she became that person. I really enjoyed it. I'm hoping that there's a sequel coming. I think there's a sequel coming. I didn't get enough of a couple of the characters. I'm so excited because if there is a sequel, we're going to get more of that person or these people, and I kind of am excited about it. Anyway, I liked that one. I didn't love it. I would give it like a A-, B+. I liked it a lot. I would watch it again. Not my favorite like live action Disney movie, but I liked it. Next was Black Widow. We watched Black Widow in the movie theater. This was the first time I had seen a movie in the movie theater since last October. And last October I went with Sherry to, like, she had like a birthday party in the movie theater, and we rented out the whole theater. We watched Grease with a bunch of people. It was really fun. Anyway, back to Black Widow. This was a really good movie. Maybe one of my favorite, no, probably top 7 Marvel movies. It's hard to top Black Panther. It really is. It's hard to top that one for me. I love that one, but Black Widow was really good. There was a lot of blood in that movie. If you're like queasy and you don't like blood, there you go. But like, I didn't think it was disgusting. I just thought there was a lot of blood in that movie. And like, most of the movie is like, it's not a black and white film, but like the overlying color theme of the movie is black and white with like red accents because of Black Widow. Anyway, I thought it was really cool. I loved her relationship with, like all the characters in the movie. I just loved her relationship with every other character in the movie. I loved it. The beginning of it was a little bit long. It was a little bit long, but I did really like it a lot. I would watch it again immediately. It was so good. It was so good. The next movie we watched was Luca, and I have not felt this way about a Pixar movie in so long. This movie made me feel the same way that I feel when I watch Toy Story. No, completely different like storylines, different characters, different voices, different colors, different types of animation, but you know how you get that feeling when you watch a movie and you're like, oh, this feels like a friend? This movie felt like a friend. It was so good. It was colorful, and like the friendships that they formed was magical, and it wasn't scary. It wasn't sad. It was so beautiful. I loved it so much. This movie, Luca, was everything I wanted Onward to be, but it was just like comfortable and homey, and watching them eat pasta made me so happy. I loved that movie, and I cannot wait to watch it again. Next, we watched Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know what to expect with this one. I didn't watch many previews for it. I think the only ones that I saw were like the previews that they put on Instagram, and those were just like in passing, and I was like, oh cool, you know, she looks cool. I loved this movie because there wasn't a romance aspect in it, and there wasn't in Luca either, but we're talking about Raya now. I really liked that it, I guess one of the things that I really like in a movie or a book is found family. Something about choosing the people in your life that are important to you rather than, you know, being assigned to these people based on, you know, where you're born or who you're born to. I love the idea of found family and assigning value to people because, you know, they're put in your path. And so Raya and the Last Dragon was so fun because you know that those people came from very different backgrounds and they shouldn't like each other, but they're working together towards a common goal, and I just thought it was so cool. I also really love seeing characters in movies eat. Something about like movies where you never see them eat or take a bath or like change their clothes or do something like that we have to do every day. I don't know, I loved seeing them cook, and you know, they're traveling, and I loved the female empowerment in this movie. And they're on a boat. Like, that was really exciting. And, you know, such a variety of characters, and they're all so different, and I thought it was really cool. I really liked it. Yeah, that was a good one. And it's one that I didn't expect to like as much as I did. Not that I thought I wouldn't like it, I just didn't know what to expect, and so I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. But I really did like that one. The last movie that we watched was last night, and we watched Big Miracle. Now, Big Miracle is different than any other movie that I'm talking about because every other movie that I'm talking about is a Disney movie. This one is not a Disney movie. At least I don't think it's a Disney movie. This one is based on a true story. In 1988, there was like this huge news story that took place in Barrow, Alaska. And 3 whales, gray whales, were trapped basically under 6 inches of ice, and they had one little hole that they were able to breathe out of, but they were trapped. They couldn't go anywhere. So the whole like town, like village, and then the state, and then the world mobilized to save these whales, or try to save these whales. And the movie has a bunch of people in it that are stars, you know, it's like an ensemble cast, and it's really exciting to see those people in those roles. And they filmed the movie in Barrow and in Anchorage, which is really cool because I'm filming this on a Thursday and we are leaving for Barrow in 2 days, which is really exciting. So last night Adam was like, hey, let's watch this movie, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to, just because I was afraid one of the whales was gonna die, or all the whales were gonna die. Like, I just thought it was gonna be really tragic. This news story took place before I was born. I was born in 1995, so I had never heard of this story before. I didn't know what to expect, or I didn't know what was gonna happen. So we watched it. I liked it. I would watch it again. I told my mom and my sister about it this morning, but what I really liked was the way they respected the native culture. Whaling is frowned upon by most people because most people do it for sport or recreation rather than out of necessity. And native people in Alaska, particularly up there where they're so far away from everything else, you know, that's what they do. That's how they feed their people. And it's not just food to them. That's part of their culture. That's how they build homes. Like, they use every single part of the whale. And I really enjoyed how the movie respected, honored, and shared that culture with everyone watching the movie. So even if you're not interested in learning more, you still get like a brief overview. You get an insight into that culture. So even if you don't understand it, you can still respect it and say that you've heard that, you know? So I really liked it. And that one was on Netflix. And I really enjoyed it. Here's a spoiler though. Like, I know I gave you the blanket spoiler, but here's like a spoiler. This is something I would want to know. This is something I did want to know. I knew this going into watching the movie last night because I wasn't going to watch the movie if a whale died. I watched it anyway, but again, spoiler, one of the whales dies. So it's based on a true story. At the end, when they do the credits, they do use some actual footage from the real events and the real newscast, which I thought was cool. The characters, you know, were based on real people, which is really nice. So anyway, that's my review of that movie. That's the last movie we watched. We've watched some other stuff, you know. Sherry and I have been watching Friends. We watched the Friends reunion on HBO Max. I thought it was great. I thought it was so cool. I loved how they brought people in, you know, like Janice and the parents and Mr. Heckles. I thought it was really cool. Anyway, we're not here for that. Tonight is Thursday, and we're going to see the Jungle Cruise movie with Emily Blunt and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. We're going to see that in the theater tonight. So this video will go up after we've seen that movie, but I'm filming this today, so I can't tell you how it was, but I can tell you I'm really excited for the movie and for a big bucket of popcorn. So now I'm going to move on and start talking to you about my books, and I have some visual aids for this one. Like I said, I'm missing one. It doesn't matter, I don't think, you know, because I don't think you'll care, but I am gonna go in the order that I read them. So I have been reading mostly like school books. Like, here, let me show you this one. This one is called The Healing of America. I've got The Case Against Single Payer. I have Overtreated. I have The Prescription for the Future. I have a bunch of school books up here that I brought with me. I actually brought, what did I bring, 6 books with me. So I've been reading those because of school. I had not read a book for pleasure in, I think, 6 months when I got here, and I got here in June. So I think it had been like since Christmas that I had read a book that I enjoyed. So when I got here, I came into the room and I'm filming, sitting at the desk in their guest room, and this book was sitting on the desk waiting for me. And Sherry was like, it's called Mr. Malcolm's List, and Sherry was like, I read that and I thought you should read it, and so I left it on the desk for you so you could read it. I read it immediately in just a few hours. It's pretty short. It's by Suzanne Elaine, I think. Adorable. It's like a Regency set book. It says like, Mr. Darcy, step aside because Mr. Malcolm's here. So cute. It's really cute. He has like a list of features that he wants in his bride, and it's discovered, and they basically set him up to fail, but they end up setting him up with the perfect lady. You know how it goes. Anyway, it's delightful. I am tempted to read this again. I haven't started reading a new book yet. I have finished a series, and now I'm tempted to pick this one up again because it was just so cute, and I just love a happy ending. So that one was really good. The next one that I read was another, like, I guess I'm into the, you know, happy endings, because this one is called The Reluctant Heiress. Now, I have talked about The Countess Below Stairs by Eva Ibbotson more than once on this channel, I think. I think I've talked about it a bunch of times. This is the same author. She's done a bunch of books that are similar. I wouldn't call it a series, but I would call it like a collection of like similar stories. This one is really cute. It's about a girl named Tessa who is like an Austrian princess, and her family is bankrupt, so they sell their castle, and a rich guy buys it. But the rich guy is an orphan, and he's in love with this other girl, and then he becomes engaged to this other girl. But Tessa and Guy are supposed to be together, and so this is the story of how they find each other, and it's really sweet. It's called A Star-Crossed Romance. It's really cute. I really enjoyed this. It was previously published as Magic Flutes, which is interesting. Some of her older books, and this one's I think from the 80s, some of her older books have like different names. I think A Countess Below Stairs is also called A Secret Countess or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I really enjoyed that one. I tried to pick up another one of her books. I think it was The Morning Gift, I think is the one I tried to pick up. And I just thought, you know, because it started out with like a history of Vienna during the World War I, and I just, sorry, that I wasn't in the mood for that. Anyway, so instead of another Eva Ibbotson book, the next thing I picked up was Heartless. This one is the story. This is another like villain, what's it called? Origin story. So we watched Cruella and then I read Heartless. This is the origin story of the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. As you know her in the Alice in Wonderland movie. This is not a happy ending. This is not a happy book. It's an interesting story. It's fascinating. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it because you don't love any of the characters. And I struggled with not liking her because you want her to be a good person. And it's not that she's a bad person until the end of the book. She's just not a good person. But then, when you get to the end, the very last like couple of pages, you discover why she is the way that she is as we know her, because she's not like that through most of the book. I mean, she's not cruel and mean and heartless through most of the book. She gets that way at the very end. You also get to hear her say off with, the head for the first time in this book. This book is by the same author who wrote the Lunar Chronicles. So this has been on my radar and I've never picked it up just because it sounds like it would be, kind of dismal. And that's kind of the way that it is, but it's very fascinating. I really enjoyed it. The world building is beautiful. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I don't know that I would read it again, but I would read similar books, if that makes sense. But I really enjoyed it. If you're interested in the Queen of Hearts and why she is the way she is, read that. Alright, I'm nearly done. I have 3 more books to talk about, but I only have 2 to show you. This one is called The Tourist Attraction. Sherry and I went to Barnes & Noble and I bought, let's see, I'll show you because I think it's beautiful. I bought a beautiful copy of Persuasion. Now this is the Seasons, I think it's summer collection. Yeah, this is the Seasons Edition Summer Series. It's like a die cut, or what's it called? Laser cut book sleeve, and it comes in like a laminated plastic sleeve with a bookmark that matches. Anyway, I got that and Sherry got this. This is like a Hallmark movie meets book in Alaska. He had a strict no tourists policy until she broke all of his rules. So let me tell you what this is about. This is about a guy who owns a diner in like a small town place in Alaska. I'm pretty sure it's based on Girdwood, Alaska. He owns a diner. They hate tourists, and then the girl comes and she's a tourist and he falls in love with her, and this is their love story. It's supposed to be tragic because she's only supposed to be there for a couple of weeks. There are 3 books in this series. They are not all the same people. So this book talks about, this is like the story of Graham and Zoe and how they find each other. Graham has a dog named Jake who is blind and also wears outfits and clothes and stuff. Not that it really matters, but Anyway, so Graham and Zoe love story happens here. The second book is called Mistletoe and Mr. Right. It takes place over Christmas in Alaska, and the characters that you meet in here, so you meet Zoe and Graham, but you also meet their friends. So the people that live in Moose Springs, Alaska, which is not a real place, but I'm pretty sure it's based on Girdwood. Anyway, you meet Lana or Lana, I think it's Lana. You meet the people, the whole town in here. And then in book 2, Mistletoe and Mr. Right, it's the story of Lana and Rick. And then in this story, and these are not spoilers because it's on the back of the book, okay? And in this one, this is the third one, this is called Enjoy the View. And this is the story of Easton and River. And River doesn't live there. River is a new character that you meet in this book. She's an actress trying to become a producer. So in this one, this is more of like a climbing / hiking book. So if you're really into that, I think you'll enjoy it. Sherry hasn't read that one yet. I've read all 3. So I've finished that series. I think there's one more coming out in September, and I'm really excited about it because I really liked these. I liked this one less than this one and the second one. I liked the first two the most, but still, this one was good. I loved the ending of this one. It was really good. So now I'm trying to figure out what I want to read next, and I have, you know, some things that I could read. Sherry's got the first of the Renegade series by Marissa Meyer, and I could read that. I don't know if I will. I don't know what's next. I need to pick some books to take with me to Barrow, because we're mostly going to sit in the hotel and read, I think, because there's not a whole lot to do in Barrow, but we're going for the sunset. So anyway, that's what I've been, you know, using to keep myself busy when I haven't been doing homework or going on hikes or, you know, doing other stuff. So that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about today is, you know, books and movies. If you have a suggestion for what I should read next, if you've read these, let me know what you thought. Like, I am just, you know, so interested. And now, I mean, I loved them. I really loved them. So anyway, that's it. I'm done rambling. You guys will see me in another video really, really soon.